correct, then I would believe in you. So please teach me what I should recite. And then I told him to recite Amitabha Sutra. And ever since, he recite Amitabha Sutra until now, when he's in his 80s. And his face is very compassionate, radiant, just like situation related to the person. Of course, these days you have computers and you can check. You have such computers, all those paths, things that could show you that right away. When someone came, I would know which floor is your house, how many people in your house, and etc. And then only when it's correct, then I would start to give the consultation. One time I was riding on a train, and there are two people. There are two seats, right? And then there was one person next to me, and I use it to experiment. I take a piece of white paper, and I ask. This person is sitting next to me. Where does he live? Zhanghua. So I wrote that. And then I asked how many people in the family, and she said 7 people. And how many brothers and sisters? 5. 3 males and 2 females. All I wrote down on a piece of paper. And then I asked him, "Sir, where are you going?" And he said, "To Zhanghua." And then I give the piece of paper to him that in your house there's 7 people. You have 3 brothers and sisters and 2 sisters, brothers and 2 sisters, and he was shocked. You're sitting next to me and I don't know you. How could you know about my family, my house? And then I said, "Oh, I use spiritual reading." And then he asked me to read my fortune life. So I started to give fortune telling ever since the military time. And then I became famous. Everyone knows that there was someone that could do the spiritual reading. At that time, there were several. The blind Liu of Jiayi, and then in Guangxi, and also in Taichung is Sheng-Yen. So at that time, I was famous. But that was history. It felt like a long time ago. But now, thinking back, now it becomes clearer and clearer, as if it was all predestined. And all I say are truthful. I don't create stories. There was a verse in the Lotus Light that the Padma Kumara is never vain. I always say truthful words, but some people think, oh, maybe they're just lies. How could a sect become so huge? And I still also asked for consultation, and Kemin also a long time ago, 1983. I came here in 82, and you already came to find me in 83. Wow, those are old disciples, and you did too. At those times, I still live in Ballard and Grace. And Master Sheng-Yen, right? We also asked for consultation. Those were very real. It cannot be faked. So when I just got to Seattle, I also give readings to people. And at this time, there was one that's quite funny. When I moved to Ballard, I thought it's still like Taiwan. So I told Master Lian Huo, because you sell furniture, can you get me a table that I can put in my living room? And Master Lian Huo asked, what is it for? I want to give spiritual consultation and readings. And then he said, this is America. It's not Taiwan. He never gave me the table. At the end he did. The one that we put on the second floor. But at the time he thought nobody would come. When I walk out the main door and I look at the roads, there's not even one single person in view, not even a cat in view. Who would come for readings? There's no one. When I just got here, I thought there would be people. But interestingly, many people who have asked for spiritual readings in Taiwan, they received the news that Grandmaster has got to Seattle in America. And some of those people from Houston and like a stewardess, they all came for consultation. And people from Houston and Basenpo, she asked for consultation in Taiwan, but she lived here in California, and she also came. And also the Hevajra Diamond Temple of New York, the temple director, the Sister Lian Wei, she also came. She brought a few bottles of Coca-Cola and asked for spiritual consultation. Those were very interesting. This is how we established the True Buddha School. These were all in the past now, and those all was due to the Golden Mother, and she told me to go to United States and told me that your Buddha Dharma teaching will spread all over the world. So today, on the birthday of Golden Mother, we talk about the accuracy and responsiveness of Golden Mother. And the first deity that I gain spiritual response with is Golden Mother. And those who manifested to me, Amitabha Buddha and Siddhigarbha Bodhisattvas, they are also my main deities. So my Yidam, or main deities, Golden Mother, Amitabha Buddha, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, and my Dharma protector is Yamantaka. So I practice these three main deities every day, most primarily. So this is about my past. Her responsiveness is really incredible. So it seems like a fairy tale on this world, that my whole life seems like a fairy tale. Actually, I also know too much. I know too much. And knowing too much is not good for you. I wish that I didn't know that much. Because knowing that much, you could be harmed. They would try to harm you or to hurt you. We have a joke here. There was a boy who watched a movie and then told his mom, "Mom, I don't want to go to school anymore." And the mom asked why. And the son said, in the movies, there was someone who's always chased by the bad guys because he knows too much. So knowing too much is dangerous. These days, I rarely give any spiritual consultation, and I don't want to tell my disciples too many things, because when they know too much, it's becoming dangerous. That's how it is. My situation now, there are a lot of people who finger point to me and attack me because I know too much. Like the development stages of Tantrayana, I have expound on that because nobody else had ever taught it publicly. And also about the dual body consort practice is something that never taught publicly ever. So today I am teaching it publicly, and that's also dangerous because this is something that cannot be spoken. But I only taught about 10% of it, and it also already creates such a commotion. And I could not, and I will not talk about the rest 90%, the remaining 90%. Even if I just talk about 10%, you're already like this, dumbfounded. There's still lots of secrets in Tantrayana that cannot be spoken. So what I said is the history of the past, and there's also history in the Bible. There's a mom and said that the Bible said that how was our clothing? that Adam and Eve, after eating the apples, they gained wisdom and they could see their own bodies, and they feel shameful, and they use the leaves to cover the private parts. And then little John asks, how about in autumn, when all the leaves fell off the trees? Then aren't you still naked then? This is just a joke. In the Bibles, it's mentioned that Jesus Christ could do the 10 miracles. So when he came out of seclusion to do salvation, he also showed lots of miracles, because without miracles it's hard to salvage sentient beings. Today we will continue on chapter 24, the Homa of Hevajra. The first statement: to strengthen the Vajra body of all Buddhas and Herukas to accomplish the work of salvation, a practitioner should perform all sorts of offering Dharma practices, especially Homa or fire offering. You know, the first statue that I had, Guan Yin Bodhisattva, and then I made offering of incense. So by lighting an incense, that's an offering. And then I take a small cup of tea, because I don't have any other offerings. I offered her a cup of water. That's how I made my offerings. I didn't know anything about feng shui. That's the frame of the windows, and then the windows pane, and then I clench on the window, and she sat on the rail, window rail. I was stupid then. I never paid anything to Buddhas. But at that time I knew, because I saw it at the temples, people lit incense, and then I placed a bowl or cup of water. So offering is very important. Offering should come out from your heart. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas may not make use of your offerings, but if you make the offering wholeheartedly, then that's right. Some people ask me, what should we offer? Then you should see. If it is offering to the gods, then you should see what they like. You offer what they like. So you offer what they like. If you offer to the Buddhas, you offer what you like. So that's the answers the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas gave me. Because offerings start from your heart. So offerings from the heart is most important. If you like gold, because gold now is expensive, then you take out the gold as an offering. The Buddhas will not eat the gold, right? So any items that has not been made offering before, you can offer it. Anything that you like, you can offer. So Grandmaster's rings, these are all offered. Anything that people offer to me, I would immediately offer. And also the watch. When someone gave me a watch, I would make offering. Or if someone offered flowers or any gifts, immediately I would touch it to my brow and make it offering. You can offer anything. Like Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Golden Mother, you can offer anything and they would be pleased as long as you like the offering. So in Tantric Buddhism, there is the Dhamma practice of offering, and the greatest one is the fire offering, or Homa. And True Buddha School has an established Homa Dhamma practice, but Hevajra's Homa has a few special things about it. It's different. In the past, I have taught about the fire offering, and all the disciples may not necessarily follow my instructions. They just take a stove and they just do it, and it's not necessarily that way. So there's a difference in the same thing. So there are some differences among the homas of fire offerings. Not each homa is the same. There's a joke. A kid went to the mountain to play, and then they ran all over the place, and the parents tried to scare the kid. Don't run all over the place because there's ghosts that could eat the people. And the kid said, I'm not afraid of ghosts. So the man, I'm not afraid of ghosts because Chinese like to use the name ghost to scold people. That the gambler is like the gambling ghost, and they call the little kid as the little ghost. That's the Chinese terms. This is a joke. But homas are different. So which deity, what you pray for, they're all different. So this is what they teach. There's something special about Hevajra Homa. First, in the visualization, visualize the empty space to be filled with all Buddhas. Then the practitioner visualize oneself to merge with Hevajra, and the main deity to be seated on the lotus blossom of one's heart chakra. And all the offerings appeared from the home syllable. And before this, make sure to prepare the altar, the offering items, the homa pot or pit and all its implements. If it is the purification homa, you should set up a round pit. So this is something that you haven't done. So for purification, we need to use a round pit. And for blessings, you need a rectangular pit. So I taught that you need a rectangular pit and place a round pot inside it, but people don't follow it. And for subjugation, you need a triangular. So outside the triangular, and then inside the round. And for harmony and love magnetization, you need a half circle. So you cover the other half. So the pot becomes half circle. The round is for purification. So the square is for enrichment, triangular for subjugation, and half circle for magnetization. So anyone who's doing homa, do you follow? No, they all use the circle, round pot. So why didn't Grandmaster say anything? Because Grandmaster used visualization for the round, the square, the triangular, and half circle. They all visualize, so they include purification, enrichment, subjugation, and magnetization. But for beginners, you have to follow the instructions. You cannot follow Grandmaster because Grandmaster visualize, you also visualize. Like when Grandmaster give empowerments, I don't wear the 5 Buddha crown. but I visualize. But the Dharma masters just followed, just imitated me, but that's not right, because if you don't have enough power, then you violate the precepts, you breach the precepts. So when you do the Homa, when you perform the Homa, did you ever do the triangular Homa? Or the square Homa? Have you ever done? The square pit, or the triangular pit, or the half circle pit, because these days all the Homa pit or pot is circle, is round. Because in Tantrayana, there are 4 classes of Dharma practice. So the Karma, Kriya, Yogi, and highest Yoga. So in the beginning, when you do Homa, when you're still performing these 4 classes of Dharma practice, you have to follow the instructions. When you have reached the yoga class, which you have a spiritual response or merged with the main deity, then it will be fine if you use the round part. And when you reach the highest yoga tantra, then that's fine. You don't need anything. You can just take a handful of sand and then throw it, and then you're making offering, because you have reached such a realm. And when you have reached the yoga realm, tantra, that's fine too, because you have merged with the main deity. But prior to the spiritual response, or prior to the union, then you have to do the kriya and the karma tantra. So you cannot just use the round part all the time, because Grandmaster never reminded you, because Grandmaster has taught that before. The round for purification, the square for enrichment, the triangular for subjugation, and the half circle for magnetization. So when you're in the first stages, you have to follow this. You cannot just use the round one, because you have to ask yourself, have you reached the yoga tantra, which means that the deity could enter into your body and you could enter into the main deity, which is enter I and I enter. So you need to be clear on this. And as for the offering items for purification, you use items of white color for blessings, items of yellow color for subjugations, you need black, and for magnetization, you need the red color. You all know this. This is Hevajra Homa. So when you do Homa, you need to have 4 different pots. One, you have to make a triangular one, square one, half circle, and a round one. Then this would comply to the tantric procedure. So for the karma and kriya yoga or tantra. But once you gain spiritual response with the main deity, then you are the main deity, and main deity are you, is you, then that's fine. Then because the part can become round or square or triangular or half circle. That's how it is. About water offering? I don't know. Here we only talk about fire offering. Okay, I will talk about water offering at that time. Oh, air offering or earth offering. That's fine. There was a man by the family named Chen, and then a female that's by the family named Xu, and she's the only child, and she got pregnant. And then they argued because the family of the lady said that the child should have family name Xu because she's the only child. But the man said no, she should have family name of Chen. And when they give birth to the child, they almost get divorced. But then they resolve the problem because they have twins. And the first child is called Xu. And Xu. And then Chen Xu. So this is fine. So when they cannot agree whether they should name Xu or Chen, and then you have twins. So that's spiritual response, that two become one, two are together. Like when I'm together with Golden Mother, I'm together with Amitabha Buddha, or I'm together with Siddhika Discipline. This is spiritual response. This is the third tantra. So the initial tantra, the action tantra, yoga tantra, Haishoka tantra. So yoga means spiritual response. So that's the merging or the union of the two. So when the Chen marry the Xu and they bear two children, so they don't argue anymore. Because the Mrs. the lady is the only child, so they want to have the next generation to maintain the family name. But they bear two boys. So they name Shidotian and Chen Shido. Shidotian also means lots of money a lot. So once you gain spiritual response, then you can do anything. But if you haven't gained spiritual response, then you should follow the procedure. Because once you obtain the spiritual response, then you reach the third yoga tantra, the third level of yoga tantra. Otherwise, you should still follow the first and the second level tantra. That's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.